Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis coming to you from the Drew Estate Studio. With me today is Jiunn Liu from the Box Press Studio, Seth Geis, and from the Pastani Studios, John McTavish. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man.
Doing good, man.
Flying like an eagle.
All right. So today we are talking about the Ozgener Aramas A52. This is a Robusto 5x52. Comes out of the Tabacalera La Alianza factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper is Mexican San Andres, binder is Ecuadorian Sumatra, and the filler is from the Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, and also Connecticut broadleaf. Price point is $12.75. Cigar was released in May of 2023. And with all that out of the way, June, what was your overall experience like with this cigar?
Can I ask a quick question really quick?
Yes.
Just really quick. All right. How much of that filler percentage do you think is Connecticut broadleaf? I mean, we have heard for years about the shortages and the quality of Connecticut broadleaf, and they threw some in the filler. So what is that percentage, you think?
Well, so
Well,
the
is it
thing,
real broadleaf? Is it real Connecticut broadleaf?
I listen, we're not going down that dark road. We can go down that road. I'm just saying we're gonna go with the honesty road that this is Connecticut broadleaf. We talking like half a leaf, quarter of a leaf?
it's not much because I weighed the cigar weighed in at 12.5 grams, which what's
Oh my God, John.
what's
He weighed
the
it.
what's the size? What's the Vitola on this?
It's
Five by
a
52
Robusto.
Robusto.
Yeah, 5 by
52.
52.
Fucking
Yeah.
weigh this. I love this. He's got
Dude,
numbers.
that's like
I got
There's
my
no
draw.
way. There's no way. There's much broadleaf. I know what a weight
no, I
is.
mean like that's like honestly, it's 1.5 to 2 grams light, like for where like I'm pretty sure Robusto is supposed to be 14.5 to 15. So
I didn't even know that, John.
I think because that's typically like they've like had measurements over the years. Like there's like Toros and if they've mentioned it, John's just smart enough to actually pay attention to it and weighs this stuff.
yeah,
He's
well,
one of
I mean,
those, you know.
we
He
we
He's
he
a data
he,
guy.
he weighs what he
yeah.
buys. I'm off the honor system, and I'm so drugged out of the time that I'm like, yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I buy
really,
15 grams.
the so for comparison, the last cigar that we smoked, which interestingly enough was also Mexican San Andre and also was a Robusto, weighed in at 15.9 grams. So 12.5 is, a
What
lot
was
less.
that? Hold on, I'm gonna look to see what that.
Agoroso
Five
leaf.
50.
We
I know
we just
that,
did it.
June. I was looking to see what the
Oh, wait.
measurements were. I don't want to call them out,
Oh,
even though that's actually giving them a
no,
compliment.
that's
Says,
a
yeah,
good thing.
don't. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, five.
Guys, the
It's
leaf
like
is
the
their
same.
strength.
It's
Hello.
the
We talked
same.
about this.
It's the same. It's like the same size. All right, so John, you're right. You wait. Look at that. That's a big
Anyways,
difference.
it could very well be a one-off quality issue. I just wanted to mention it because I'm starting to measure both the humidity in the cigar and the weight of the cigar to see if there's
Hey,
any
this dude is like,
relevance to
oh, I have
how
my
it is.
man cave. I have my draw
Dude,
measurement.
John is
I
not going to
have
That
be.
is
my
correct.
John is not
scale.
going to be called out
Look,
for
if we get
improper
a draw, if
humidity
we get a
or
draw
anything.
master, I'm pretty sure
That's
John will
true.
test the draw as well.
Oh
So
yeah,
That's
Oh
true.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
expense that
All
Every
shit.
single
man,
one,
I
baby.
like that. I like this like scientific approach.
Someone's
yep.
got to do it.
All right,
Yeah.
June, what was your experience
Okay,
like?
anyways, yeah, so overall average, I actually really enjoy the first third of the cigar. It had like a really wide array of different flavors. It was sweet, it was like citrusy, had good spice, but most of it was just it's weird. It's almost like smoking that first third and then the remaining two thirds were completely two different cigars. Whereas most of the cigar was just like I just mainly got some bready notes, some cedar notes, like a creaminess off like a soft bread. Um, yeah, I was actually a bit disappointed. I really had a lot of hope after that first third, but maybe I could just buy these, and cut it up and just smoke first third. You know what I mean? Why not?
All right, Seth, what was your experience like?
Yeah. I didn't think the first third popped the way it did for June. I was getting a little bit of like a mocha quality with some, damp wood, cedar, earth, baking spices, and then second through final third, it was just that earth, cedar, baking spice profile. Burn was a little off, draw was a little wavy. It just kind of, yeah, that's about how it was. Felt light. Actually, it didn't. I was just saying that because John gave us the John.
Yeah, it started out interestingly enough. It had this kind of herbal quality, which I don't get on a lot of cigars that often. So it kind of played around with that with various combinations of like herbal and wood and like a mossy herbal quality, baking spices and herbal, baking spices, wood and herbal. And that was interesting. And I felt like a lot of that kind of fell apart in the second third where I think there was just a lot of dryness on the palate and this sort of medium to medium full earthiness, which ended up taking over the profile. So that just doesn't, that's not dynamic in my opinion. Like that flavor profile is just really palate dominating. And that was a lot of what carried into the last third as well. The burn was perfect. Now, ironically, it was quite snug on the draw. And I was like, typically if I have a really snug draw, I'll examine the cigar. So I examined the cigar and the cigar felt firmly packed with tobacco. So I was quite puzzled because I was like, the cigar feels firm, the humidity reads where it should be, but it weighs in as light and it's resistant on the draw. I'm like, this doesn't add up. At any rate, it was a pretty resistant draw throughout the entire review. So I kind of came away with it pretty average overall. Aaron, what about you?
Yeah, for me, the cigar started with a mellow mix of toasted cedar, light earth, and faint baking spice. I got a light floral soapiness that kind of joined in pretty quickly. Second third saw the baking spice transition to black pepper, and then the final third saw the black pepper move up in the profile. Cigar was average flavor profile throughout. Kind of focused around that toasted cedar, earth, and baking spice black pepper combination. The floral soapiness was kind of an interesting component. I did enjoy it. I don't know that I remember getting it all that often. But it just it didn't have a large enough effect on the profile to make it something that was interesting to me. But in comparison to the Bosphorus, this was definitely a step up for me. Even though it's not something I'd come back to, but yeah, not a cigar I really see myself coming back to, especially in this flood of new Mexican San Andreas that's all kind of in this, middle average zone. So doesn't seem like it would take a lot to get kind of over that hump, but you just all fall into the same trap, I guess. All right, let's get into the scores. We're going to start at the top with Jiunn at 6.1. John and I both gave it a 5.65, and Seth gave it a 5.15. So Jiunn had that 6.1 matchup for you.
The 6-1 was that first third definitely helped, but aside from that, I don't think it's really worth buying. I take that back because I don't want to pay $12 for 1.67 inches of a cigar.
Yeah.
Very expensive. No go, no buy, no deal.
All right, John, 5.65.
Yeah, it matches up well. It was a slightly above average flavor profile, but obviously that draw brought the score down. So I think as Jiunn said, even if the score was kind of a perfect construction and it got up to that 6, this is not this is probably my least favorite of the Ozgener. Wow, I can't talk today. Sorry. Wow.
Ozgener.
Anyways, it's my least favorite of the offerings that he's put out so far.
Yeah, my 5.65 matches up well. Average flavor profile throughout. It's got really good construction. I mean, just slightly wavy burn. That's all I can really complain about in regards to that. But I know it doesn't factor in the score, but to me, the pre-light was just poor on this cigar. The way the wrapper looks doesn't look good. The caps are sloppily applied. I don't know. It's just some of these wrappers come out of this factory just are not impressive. So, all right, Seth, 5.15.
Oh,
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it was. Listen, it's
Gotcha.
just it was. It's been a rough re-entry for Ozgener, man. I don't. It's.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Makes you wonder.
Any other final thoughts from you guys on this one?
I'd be curious to know, talking to some of the retailers, how they're doing on the shelves. Like I'm assuming the partnership with Crown Heads has gone quite well because I think Huber and Crown Heads has a pretty positive market placement, so I'm sure that helps. I just don't know what other people are saying, like in terms of how they're being received. So I'd be curious to talk to some of our retailers and say, like, how are these moving the shelves and stuff? Because he's put out a lot of new product for only being back for a couple of years. So
And the bands are really hard to read, so maybe to make an adjustment there.
Yeah.
the bands are a little hard to read. I hate to be the stylist guy because I'm not a style guy, but like there's something you said about just picking a clear font. Like I know everyone wants to go with like super ornate bands, but like you can't really tell what it is. And if I can't tell what it is and I know what I'm looking for, I'm pretty sure that a customer who, maybe doesn't know the first thing about your brand can't pick it out. But
All right, wherever you're catching this video, be sure to like and subscribe, but check out the full written review on the website, developmentpalace.com. Follow all our, oh man, I just blanked on this thing. Follow us on all social media channels. Catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those fancy places. Also catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Ozgener.